If you want to save money on your trading card purchases, we have a promo link over at 50cards.shop. Enter the promo code @night to get 5% off your order. Hey everybody, welcome to Nexus at Night, your weekly Vanguard podcast. I'm Atlas.
I'm Matt.
I'm Root Beer.
And today we are doing DBT 010. That doesn't sound right. Dragon Masquerade set review.
Is there an O? There's not an O. It's
There's
just
not.
10. It's DBT 10.
Yeah, I know, but just saying 010, it's like
It's like it's
Funnier that way.
2010. Yeah. Like 14 years ago.
Yeah.
Or 13. Sorry, my apologies.
2010.
2010.
2010.
All right, Demon Masquerade or Dragon Masquerade. My bad.
Dragon Masquerade. So again, for people who haven't listened to the show before, we go through the all the rarities down to the double Rs, any other commons or rares that interest us, and that's pretty much it. So let's kick it off. What do we got here?
All right, we have Scarlet Flame Martial Dragon Gandiva.
Mm-hmm.
So there are so many things with similar sounding names right now.
Yeah.
Gravidia. That's the first thing that popped into my head.
Yeah, the Gravidia was the first one, but also like the tree was like Grisophyt or something like that. I'm not gonna try to pronounce it, but yeah, this is like the third thing that has a similar name. Anyways, when your opponent's rearguard is retired during your turn, you can choose a card from your drop zone and bind it face down. During your turn, all your front row get 2k for each face down card in your bind zone, and then if you have 5 or more face down, it gets a crit. And then it has an act ability once per turn, Counterblast 1. Choose up to 5 choose 5 of your opponent's rear guards with different grade. Good luck with that. Reveal the top 5 cards of your deck. Retire all of the chosen units with the same grade as any of the revealed cards. And then if you retired 1 or less, draw a card, choose a card from your drop zone, bind it face down.
What is this thing?
This is stinky.
Yeah. Apparently, people are really high on this deck. Like, they're expecting it to be top tier.
Really?
Yeah. I think it's, like, not necessarily this card, but just, like, everything else.
I see.
But yeah, apparently, like, people are expecting this to be, like, top meta.
The top tier deck that is deleters in G-Era are running around, and this is the silver bullet to quench them. This is Gandiva. Like, on paper, it looks completely stupid, but I'm guessing that we're going to see
Yeah,
more stuff,
this card in isolation seems very mediocre.
Mm-hmm. All right. So, I like the art, though. Very cool.
Yeah. Really cool art. It's like weird dungaree almost.
Kind of, yeah.
Didn't think we'd get a Pants Dragon retrain of all things.
Who's
Not
to say?
Not an actual retrain, but you know what I mean.
A dragon spiritual successor.
Yeah. Anyway, next we have Great Flame Axe of Magnificent Scales, Calgafran. So, when it's discarded from your hand during the ride phase, you can Soul Blast 1, put it on the bottom of the deck, and draw. And then when it's placed, if you Persona Road this turn, you can Counterblast 1, retire all of your opponent's rear guards in the same column as this unit. So this is the second wave of what they are calling cycle cards. So when you Persona Ride, it does a thing.
Okay.
I don't remember what the cycle card from set 9 does. I don't know if it's better than that one.
That doesn't seem terrible. Like, obviously you're incentivized to run 4 copies so you see it as much as possible. I don't know. Seems okay.
Yeah, it seems fine. I know some of the other cycle cards are like crazier. Yeah, so the cycle from set 9 was like Soul Blast 1, retire something, it gets 5k, and then your opponent just binds 3 things from their drop zone.
Okay.
It was like,
well, that's pretty incomparable.
Yeah. So yeah, this is just like the Dragon Empire cycle.
Okay.
I think the other ones are going to be more powerful once we get to them.
Understood.
All right. New Virena. Good stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, so new Virena. It's a grade 2 crossover Trickstar and a Prayer Dragon.
I'm already off it. It says crossover.
Yeah.
When it's placed on rearguard circle by crossover, choose 2 Virenas in their card name from drop, put it as this unit's original address, and on attack, if it's in the crossover state, it gets 10k until end of battle. Then you can put one of the Virena original address in the drop and either draw a card or countercharge.
Okay.
I'm still not sold on it saying crossover.
Yeah, we are now in Konami legacy support territory of just like, we don't know what to do with this archetype. Here's a card that does everything.
Yeah.
This card is not bad, except the fact that it's crossover.
It took them this long to give Nirvana countercharge. And look at the amount of fuckery that they had to do to just give them one countercharge. No, like when you crossover dress, put this in Soul, countercharge 1. They could have done that. But no. They had to be like, all right, this has to like put Virenas that you've already used as over dress material, and then you get to draw or countercharge. Like, for God's sake, man, it's the bunny for Gold Paladin when placed by an effect. Dindrain. Yeah. So it's like Dindrain is essentially what this is doing, but so much simpler and better.
Yep.
Yeah.
Everyone's like shitting their pants because it's finally countercharging Nirvana, but
it's so much work.
Yeah.
Like, I honestly don't know what else to say. Like, crossover dress has just been all over the place, right? Because like set 6 was basically just what Nirvana had been up to that point, but like worse. Set 7, they introduced a sort of direction where you're trying to like retire your opponent's rear guards to get like the drive check on, I think it was Bower Virena.
Yeah.
And then set 9, they trying to awkwardly jam like crossover and original overdress back together.
Really?
And now they've just given up and printed a card that does a bunch of different things at the same time.
Yeah. So, day late and a dollar short, guys, I think.
You know what we should talk about with this set?
What?
Masks.
Okay.
Yeah.
Why don't we talk about a mask then?
All right. So the first one is Karmic Demonic Jewel Dragon Jeweled Masks. Dark
It's a tongue twister. Yeah.
There's a lot of similar words and they're all kind of jammed together.
It's true. Yeah.
Can only be written on a grade 3 with Jeweled in its card name. The line of text you'd expect there to be there. It has an act on Van. You can remove a card with Jeweled in its different card name from your hand, soul, or drop. Choose 2 cards from your drop, put them into your soul, and this unit gets critical +1 until end of turn. When your unit attacks a Vanguard, you can counter blast 1, soul blast 4 cards with different grades. Choose 2 of your opponent's rear guards, retire them. Choose 1 of your opponent's Vanguards and increase or decrease its power to 1 until end of turn.
Okay. I'm trying to kind of parse out if this is better than the original Jeweled.
I would say yes, just because it says retire 2 of your opponent's rear guards.
I'm not convinced this is better than the old one. I think this card kind of blows.
Because, the old one at least fueled itself, kind of. Where you got a soul charge off of it and stuff.
Yeah, I mean, this one, I guess, theoretically does, but it's also, a lot more work because of the deck building restrictions around it.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
I think this card is just not good. For as good as the mask cards are, the other Masques bosses are, this one is just not that. This is by far the worst one, in my opinion.
I feel like the next one would be the worst one in my opinion. I don't mind this one.
Because
I don't like how important the removal effect is.
Yeah.
Where you have to remove the Jeweled to get the 2 cards from drop. That seems like a pain in the butt, but the power ability I think is better just because it says retire 2.
Right. I don't know. I think this card's a little stinky.
Yeah, I this one doesn't really do it for me.
This is another one people seem high on. Or at least Different Fight did.
Yeah, he was very excited about it.
But is it hype in that, oh shit, it's a new card, or is it hype in
No, Different Fight made a whole ass video about how he expects this to be good.
Yeah. I think once we see the rest of the set and we see like more masks and stuff, we'll kind of go over it overall because we already have like a few Stoiteo ones to begin with.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, but also the next one is a mask, and I feel like that one is worse than this one, in my opinion.
All right. Let's go to. Oh, I didn't even know. I forgot that this card existed. To be honest, Xeno Almeja Star Astroa equal Biko Masks. I'm not sure what they want me to actually say the equal sign as. I guess it's just like a hyphen, but fancy.
Yeah.
All right. It can only be ridden by
like Hunter x Hunter.
Yeah. I say the X just to mess with people at this point. So you remove a card with Astroa and its different card name from the hand, soul, or drop. Choose one of your opponent's rear guards, retire it, and it gets drive +1. And when it attacks, you can +1, soul blast 3. Bind all the critical triggers, soul blast for this cost. Choose one of your rear guards, stand it, and that unit and this unit get power +5,000 for every 2 critical triggers in your bind zone.
See, this looks unequivocally better than the old one.
That's true.
Does it?
I think so.
I feel like this one is arguably worse. Like, it stands a thing, sure, but like the power is worse. Your drive check is locked behind removing another copy of itself, and it doesn't gain a crit on itself anymore.
I don't know. I think with this in a world with like Chronojet and everything, I think multi attacks are going to be the thing that is the anti. Like, if you're not Chronojet, you got to be someone to beat Chronojet. Mm-hmm. I think multi attack is the way to do that. I'm going to delude myself into doing that until I get kicked out on my ass. But I'm saying that like if you're a 3 attack deck, it's really not.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. No, I just feel. Like, obviously, like, the extra attacks are important, but that could have been something they just put on a rear guard, right? Like, I feel like this is not actually doing very much compared to the original. Like, it's a side grade at best. Like,
I mean, the original wasn't doing much either.
Yeah, no, the original one is also... that's the other thing. Is like, the original one is also bad. This one scales power slower than the other one, because like if you could just like soul blast 3 triggers for her effect, then you just get like 5k on 3 things, where it's like, okay, for every 2 criticals you have bound, it gets plus 5k. So there's a distinct possibility you might not even get the 5k sometimes, just depending on how bad your soul charges are.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I think this one is the worst mask by far.
I don't know.
I'm torn.
I think Unica's not that bad. Or the Astroa one is not as bad, just because it asks very little of you. Like, as far as like restrictions go, so you can pretty much just like put everything together you just put every single good card.
Is in terms of like deck building for the mask stuff, have you experimented with this at all, Rupier? Like any of them?
Not yet. Like, I've been seeing what other people have been putting up. Like, most of them are I know for Drajewald, people are just playing like 3 copies of Drajewald.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I feel like you have to in that case. Zorga, I'm not sure. I feel like the removal effect on Zorga is kind of important. Like, we'll get to that. I feel like Leonorn, you could get away with not playing additional copies. I feel like out of all of the masks so far, Leonorn's removal effect is the least important.
Yeah. Leonorn, I think, can stand on her own 2 legs the best then.
Yeah, like...
from what we've seen, anyway.
Like, at most, you would just play, like, the trial deck Leonorn, maybe, because it just says plus 5k on it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I feel like Leonorn, you can get away with playing either very few extra copies of her or just none at all.
Right.
Like, your Drajewald, you have to. This one, I'm not sure about, because, like, the gimmick of binding triggers means that, like, to some extent, you're not going to have as many in your deck for the extra drive check to matter.
Mm-hmm.
But, like...
you're also getting drive +1 for, like, most turns.
Yeah.
For effectively for free.
Yeah, so that's one where it's like I don't know how many copies of like the other Astroa that you decide to go for.
Yeah, it's I'm the Dark States mask cards have been a bit weird.
I think because with Stoicheia, it's a little easier to tie together thematically, whereas with Dark States, everything is so in all these different directions with what you do with the soul that they just kind of like fumble over each other.
Yeah.
I
mean, I think like Astroa kind of naturally kind of fulfills its conditions just like as you guard attacks. So like it's not like you're
taking away from yourself from the future.
It's not like you're like it's not like you're literally going through your deck and removing crits, right? Either way.
All right.
I think Astroa is an interesting card. It's definitely one that I think is a little more interesting, like as a concept going forward, just because it's kind of like this slow. It's kind of like a scaling kind of thing, which has the potential to be powerful in Vanguard, but interesting to see where it goes.
Right.
So the last Dark States card we have is Black Sky Thunder Quaking Queen Lamina. So when it's discarded from your hand during the ride phase, you can Soul Blast one, put this card on the bottom of your deck, and draw a card. So it's a cycling thing. And when it's placed on rear from hand, if you have Persona Road this turn, you can counterblast one, choose a card from your soul, call it to rear. If you call the card, you may soul charge one.
That's how you do it. Retire all in one column. Come on, this is better. So much better.
Yeah, like the cycle cards have never been particularly like even in terms of like what is good and bad. Like the cycle in set 9 was clean sweep, which is just insane.
Okay.
Yeah, this card is like night and day versus the one we saw for Dragon Empire earlier.
Yeah.
The Calgafran. Like this is quite nice. I don't think there's much more to say about it.
Yeah, no, it's like actually a good card.
Yeah. Yep. All right, so Prison.
Yeah. Who's doing this one? Is it me?
Yeah.
Is you.
Okay, cool. So the first one we have is Aurora Battle Princess Penetrate Aquas. This is the worst.
I'm going to leave that name alone. Let's just keep moving.
I am very immature. That's all I'll say.
When it's placed on rear, your opponent chooses a card from your drop and imprisons their prison. So it's a. And then on rear or guard circle, if two or more cards are in your opponent's prison, it gets shield power plus 5,000, shield plus 10,000, and for the battle, this unit attacked. When your opponent would call cards from their hand, they must call two or more.
Sure.
Good card.
Not bad. Yeah, seems pretty good.
I mean, it's shield in a place where you don't normally get shields, so it's probably fun.
Yeah, and it's like an 18k attacker, and the battle door could be important sometimes, maybe.
18k attacker, that's a 10k shield, but doesn't have intercept.
Yeah, I wish it had intercept.
My favorite combination. Definitely a weird bit of support this late into the game.
Yeah,
because like Prison hasn't been relevant in a long time.
Yeah,
and this doesn't really change its position.
Yeah, no, I think Prison is just like not relevant enough in the anime for them to give it real support.
All right, Rod, you all ready for a real card?
Yeah.
Let's do a real card.
Sickle Blade of Investigation, Habitable Zone. What a dumb name.
Yeah.
All right, so auto, when it's discarded from your hand in the right face, so last one put it on the bottom of your deck, draw a card. All right. So, has the cycle skill. And then when it's placed on rear, if you Persona Road this turn, counterblast one, search your deck for one set order card, reveal it, put it in your hand, shuffle your deck. Until end of turn, you may play a total of 2 orders, and the next set order you play can be played without paying its cost.
Whoa.
This card is ridiculous.
If it had just gotten the set order out of deck, that would have been great. But bam.
This is a spicy meatball.
Yeah.
The hits keep on coming. Jesus.
I hate this. This is going to be so annoying.
Yeah.
But you know what? Let her rip.
This really feels like a custom card that a 12-year-old made up.
It does. It does. It just feels like somebody just kind of... People are just shooting the shit at this point.
Yeah, I want to see like what decks end up breaking this.
I'm gonna go back and read Calgafran again because I'm.
We need to bring ourselves back down.
How did this happen? How do you lose this badly? Oh, right, crossover dress. Understood. All right. Yeah, those cards just seems insane.
Okay,
Yeah.
so we've gone on an upward trajectory on the cycle cards.
That's true. That's true. All right. So the last of the triple R's, I believe, or for bracket anyway, is Blue Deathster Hanada Halfway. Look at these names. They're really scraping the bottom of the barrel.
Hey, you know what? He is trying his best to get back out there after his addiction. You leave him alone.
What the heck is Blue Deathster? Is that the robot thing?
I think so. He's at a halfway house.
Gotcha. So when this unit is placed in the rearguard circle, if you have a Vanguard with Blue Deathster in its name, that's Avant-Garde, you can counterblast one, draw a card. Sure. When this unit boosts, if your strategy card was put in the order zone this turn, this unit gets power plus 2,000, and if this unit's in the back row center column, countercharge 1.
Not bad.
Sure.
You know, it's fine, but you're playing Avant-Garde, which is boring. So, who's really winning?
Yeah, it seems like a pretty good piece of support.
Yep. Yeah, I mean,
This is one of those boringly competent cards that I don't know what to say about it.
Yeah,
boringly
it's like,
competent cards.
No, that's exactly right.
Yeah.
It's like, it's just one of those. You're just like, this is good.
Yep.
If you
Probably just replaces like the grade 1 Dragon Tree Wretch, which is what I was using right now.
I gotcha. All right.
Makes sense. All right. It is Root Beer's turn.
Keter time.
Okay.
Keter time.
Great Sage of Heavenly Loss. So, why is there another R there? Solrarion.
Ryron?
Soraron.
So, yeah.
I hate it. Go on.
Yeah.
I think people are just going to say Solarion, like just for.
Oh, yeah. I'm going to mispronounce it on purpose.
Yeah.
Anyways, it's the grade 3 boss unit. At the beginning of your battle phase, you Soul Blast 1. You declare either normal or trigger unit and reveal the top card of your deck. If you revealed the correct type, then all of your units get power plus 5,000 until it gets continuous. All of your units get plus 5k.
Oh, it's Hex Orb support? Yo?
Kind of. Yeah.
And then when it attacks a Vanguard, you can counterblast 1, look at top 2, choose one card from among them, call or discard it, and then put the rest on top or bottom.
Okay, so let me compare this to Tamahira. Tamahira gives the player plus 5k and not himself. And it calls 2 things instead of 1.
Yeah, but Tamahira is also bad.
I know, I'm just fucking with you. It seems okay, I guess.
Also, this gives more power to than Tamahira because it gives it to all units.
That's true. But
interesting.
I don't know. This kind of seems like a.
This card sure does exist.
Yeah, what are you doing? You got other shit to do. Like, why are you?
I'm glad they finally gave Hex Orb support, though.
Yeah,
but this is a Vanguard.
Oh shit!
Yeah, that's the problem. That's what I'm annoyed
with. Too bad, I guess.
Speaking of Hexa Orb support.
Oh no!
Yeah. Oh my god. He has been vibrating in his chair waiting for this.
Have I? Hexa Orb Sorceress Aquamarine. So it is also considered Hexa Orb Sorceress on the Vanguard Circle. If you Persona Road, it gets Drive +1, and the power increase from your triggers gets another 10,000. And then when you reveal a trigger for its Drive check, you can Soul Blast 1 and stand one of your rear guards.
Oh, that is very good.
Wow. Imagine if this card was out like 4 sets ago.
Yeah,
right?
For real.
I mean,
this card's not even that bad. It's just like, it's still high roll, but so is Hexa Orb.
Yeah.
But now you have 8 Persona Rides if you want them.
Yeah, you have 8 Persona Rides. I'm not sure how to feel about this one, because it's like, the original Hexa Orb, if you could get the Persona Ride, like, guarantees your deck functions, because you can put a trigger back.
Just simply hit.
Yeah. So this is just one of those decks where it's like, okay, without some sort of, like, Tetramagus ability, there's the distinct possibility your deck will just fail to function. Like, I feel like you play this one in the Ride deck, because it will still, like, trigger all of your Ride line stuff, and then like the early restand is more worthwhile, but you do have other ways to restand your rear guards that are also just expensive. Like,
That's true.
yeah, I don't know. This is a weird one.
It'd be cool if this card would have came out forever ago.
Yeah.
I do like how much power it can gain, though. I think that's funny.
Yeah, that's cool.
And it's-
One nice thing about like the trigger increase effect is that it can now affect itself. So it just increases the power of the trigger rather than assigning power to a unit and only to rear guards.
I see.
So yeah, this card
is
seems
interesting.
like fine.
This seems like something I'd want to try and break in premium, but that's me.
No.
No.
I don't know why you would want to do that. Like, this deck has no card advantage.
I mean, clans do.
Yeah, but like OTT cards have like costs and restrictions on them.
Yeah. I don't know. I pretty much figured out what I want to do for Alt Mile.
Also, you can just stride.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, typically with stuff like this, it's the doing it with like Crystal Luster or whatever.
All right.
I don't
So what
know.
else?
I'm working on what's his face, Crime Race. So to be continued.
Future episode.
Yeah.
Future episode.
And then we have Spiral Cutie Angel. So this is the cycle card for Keter. When this card is discarded from your hand during ride phase, you can Soul Blast one, put a card, or put it on the bottom, draw. When it's placed on rearguard circle of your Persona Road, Counter Blast one, look at top two, choose one to put to your hand, put the rest on top or bottom. This sucks.
Hex Orb support.
How do you go from search a set order, you can play 2 this turn, and it's free, to,
Yeah.
I don't know,
like,
look at the top
call-
2.
Yeah,
Look.
like call a card from Soul Charge to like look at top 2, draw 1, put the rest atop. This is an effect that could exist without the Persona ride.
It's very clear that they have no clue what they want to do. It's so funny.
It could at least let you draw both. Like call one, add the other to hand, something. I don't know. Check top
Masquerade.
5.
Nope, not allowed. Well,
Okay. Well,
it just keeps happening.
okay. Let's go back to the masks for a second here.
Do we have to?
Which we talked about this on a past episode with the
Cool. That means we can speed through it.
yeah, it's the thumbnail with Roger from American Dad on it. But anyway, so teasing spiritualist Zorga masks. So the normal mask thing only written from a Zorga has the Alchemagic effect on. If you Alchemagic, all your front row gets 10k, and then you can act to remove a Zorga for hand, soul, or drop. Choose something from drop and call it to rear if it's a unit, or put it in your hand if it's a normal order.
Yep.
Not
This
bad.
is another one like Gridjeweled where I wish the removal effect wasn't so important.
Mm.
Because being able to get back orders from drop is pretty important when you just like mill them all the time.
Right.
You know, like Grave Zorga fixed that by, just cycling a card back, and now this one you have to like remove it, so I'm just like
Yeah.
Yeah, and the plus 10 to your front row is like, is that really worth it to be not on Red Zorga anymore?
I mean, yes, it's better than Red Zorga. Like that,
I
the original,
this is the
the
best
Alchem-
Zorga for sure.
Yeah, like the Alchemagic is a continuous effect, like the original one again. The power gain is larger than the original Zorga. It can still cycle a normal order from your drop zone back. It just you have to jump through the hoop of removing an extra Zorga, which is the one thing I don't like about it. But otherwise, this is just objectively better than Grave.
But like, if you mill a random Zorga, you can just remove it for the, or like
That
if
is-
you remove like an
yeah.
original Zorga, you can just like use it for that.
Yeah. So yeah, I think out of all of them, this probably has the easiest time just fulfilling the condition because you just like mill a bunch anyways over the course of your normal gameplay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think this is probably the best boss that Zorga's gotten.
Yep.
Pretty low bar for that, but yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know how hard they were trying before.
Mm-hmm.
I know, but just the ongoing trend of this show of ripping on Zorga, which I'm surprised.
No, I think
Outer-
this card's cool. I just think that Zorga players are a bit weird.
Yeah. I'm
Sorry,
just
I mean,
surprised.
I shouldn't
Outer
say
Orange
Zorga
hasn't
players.
rolled
I
into
should
us
say
yet.
Zorga profile picks. You know who you are.
Yeah. For real. All right. Then we got Servitude of Funeral Procession, Leonore Masques. So,
Oh god.
yeah. Everything else, like with the other masks, can only be written with the name. Remove a copy of the same name. Choose a grade 1 or less from your drop. Call it to rear, and retire one of your opponent's rear guards. So already off to a good start. And then auto on Van when it attacks. Choose up to 3 of your back guards standing rear guards and boost with it at the same time. And then if you boosted with 3 or more units, end of battle. Counterblast 1. Choose 2 of your rear guards, any of them, and stand them.
Yep.
Real nice.
Sure does. It sure does just make 5 attacks.
Yeah, and that's very good.
Yeah.
This card seems nuts.
Yeah, it does seem very powerful. I mean, it suffers a bit from Leonore at base being not amazing. You're gonna have to like find, you still have to like commit a full board. I think it's still pretty susceptible to removal. Like the removal effect to call something back only does so much for you.
Yeah.
I do think this is probably one of my favorite mask cards so far.
Yeah.
Same.
It's quite powerful.
Yeah, I think it's probably just better. I wish they wouldn't be so boring about it and just make everything like restand your stuff.
Well, Zorga wasn't restand your stuff.
Yeah, that's true.
Neither was Jewel. But I see what you mean.
Yeah, I get it. I'm just poking fun.
At least it kind of makes sense already because it would restand the things you boosted to begin with. So this is just like restand whatever you want. You want to restand a column? Cool. You want to do both in front?
Mhm.
Whatever. Like
I do wish they could have found a way to like keep the extra drive check in there too, but like that's probably too much to ask.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's fine.
All right, let's keep the ball rolling.
Yeah. Love Binding Maiden Margaret. So grade 2, 10k. Auto so the cycle thing. When discarded, put the bottom, draw 1. When placed on rear, if you persona road, counterblast 1, and your opponent can't intercept until end of turn. All of your opponent's front row rear guards can't stand during the next stand phase. They just put Meg Colony.
Not even a bug.
It's not a bug.
Yawn. They're like, damn, we haven't printed a Meg Colony card in a while. Let's just make one up.
Yeah.
And that's what it feels like. And I hate it.
Honestly,
well, not everyone can be Brancate.
Yeah.
True.
It do be.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I still rank this above the Keter and Dragon Empire ones.
Oh, sure.
Same.
This could actually have an impact on the game.
Yeah.
Theoretically.
Well, because like in standard, there's less resources to go around, so this can fuck up some decks. I think, depending what it is.
Maybe.
But yeah, I don't know. Good-ish card.
Yeah, it's fine.
Gets into the double R's.
All right, double R's it is.
Yeah.
Okay, this is so weirdly worded, but Signature Bullet of Duststorm Baxter.
He's kind of hot.
During the battle, this unit is attacked by your opponent's unit other than in the same column as this unit. This unit can. So if it's being attacked by something in a different column.
So you have to attack it from directly in front of it. Understood.
Yes.
Okay, great. Passive voice boost road, B-.
I mean,
can you imagine if that worked on Vanguard?
Right. I mean, that's more of a translation thing, I feel like, but also I feel like the real one could say exactly that too. When your opponent's rear guard in the same column as this unit is retired during your turn, choose one of your vanguards. That unit in this, you get plus 5k.
Wow, this card's boring as shit. Anyways.
Yep. And it's kind of whatever. Moving on.
See, we're printing counters to Vermilion before he even releases.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Drag Ritter Alphakar. Alphakar. When your Vanguard with Gondiva in its card name attacks a grade 3 or greater, counterblast 1, bind it face down, look at top 5, call a grade 3 or less, shuffle.
Is that a fourth attack?
Yeah.
Oh boy.
Oh my god.
Sure.
I mean,
the card's fine.
Yeah.
It just requires playing Gandiva, which I'm not down for.
If you have 2 of them, you can get 5 attacks. Yay!
How many counter losses is that?
2.
Does Gandiva not cost 1?
Yeah, Gandiva costs 1, but Also, his counterblast is not like super important. It
Oh, true,
just like draws you a card.
Yeah,
and retires.
if you actually had a way to get a bunch of cards in bind zone, that could actually be pretty relevant with Gandiva. Now that I'm thinking about it, like this card is actually like has a lot going for it. It's just that Gandiva just needs ways to like turbo out dudes, or turbo out shit in the bind zone. That's pretty interesting.
Speaking of things that turbo out into your bind zone,
hey yo,
Swordsman of Crimson Scales, Barnaya. So at the end of the battle, it boosted. If any player's rear guards was retired this turn, you can bind it face down and draw.
Yeah, I mean, this is kind of whatever, but why is this a double R?
It's really flexible. Like the binding thing aside, being able to go, all right, if anything died this turn by anything, you cycle with it.
Why not just be like at the end of the battle that this unit boosted, bind it, draw a card?
Why they want to pretend that retiring things is Dragon Empire gimmick.
I see.
Yeah.
It's just because it would feel right rather than it's because it makes it sound like it's like working together with the other cards, even though it doesn't actually need to be there at all. Understood.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, you're playing this.
Yeah.
You're playing every single card that sends itself to bind zone, to be honest.
I think like even outside of that deck, you're probably playing it if you're
I don't know if you're gonna play it outside of the deck. This is just one of those cards that like it's something you can put down for early aggression, and I think that's why people are so high on Gandiva is because like a lot of its card you can retire things early so that you can like counter so if your opponent tries to counter rush you, you can easily punish them. And then like all of your cards get themselves out of the way. So it's hard to like punish you back, and then it just sets up for your win con.
I'm getting a lot higher on this deck the more I read. That card's really good. The one that like binds itself to call something.
Yeah.
Watch this in like 2 months. There's going to be a deck profile on the channel. It's going to be Matt for the first time. All right, I've come around on Gandiva. I'm doing a deck profile.
That requires playing D, so we'll see.
Yeah.
Good point. Yeah. All right.
Okay.
What else we got?
Illuminate Equipped Dragon, Grail Illumimer.
I hate these names so much.
Yeah.
Grail Lumirer. Jesus Christ, what are these names? When it becomes an original dress, Soul Blast 1, check top 7, choose up to 2 Virenas, 1 to hand, 1 to drop.
Okay, whatever.
Just add both of them to your hand.
Yeah.
No, you need to discard them for the Mirror Virena so that it can equip them.
I'm going to scream.
Yeah.
I'm going to scream. Just add both. I don't care.
All right. Well, maybe reading the next thing will take this horrible card off your mind.
All right. Which card are we at?
Diabolos Heavy Launcher.
Patrick. God, what a dumb name. I'm sorry for
this is Patrick.
I know. I've seen so many fucking memes.
Diabolos Heavy Launcher David. No, I'm just kidding. It's just it's always like Eugene or some stupid name these days.
It's the name of like some dude in accounting.
All right. So we're grade 2. If you are in final burst, so this is only with the new Bruce, who's pretty cool, by the way. I just wish you were, he's just not on the top of the pack. It's powerful 10,000, so it's a 20k beater. And when it attacks a Vanguard, if you're in final rush, Soul Blast 1, choose one of your opponent's rear guards and move it to guard circle. If you are in final burst, choose 2 cards instead of 1.
So effectively retire 2. Just in
effectively
a really
retire
weird way.
2. And you can kind of maybe entice your opponent to drop another card guarding this because they've already it's already committed 2 cards for them, which is quite funny. And also, if there's grade 3s, it pretty much just kills them for free.
Yeah,
which is extra funny.
Realistically, you're getting like 10k shield out of the opponent, or 5k shield even.
Which is cool.
This can get rid of Obscudides. That's funny.
Oh, that's really fun. Oh, dude.
It's the most bizarre retire for sure.
Is Purple Bruce underrated?
I think
comment below.
I think Purple Bruce is decent.
Yeah.
I definitely think Purple Bruce is like fine.
It's definitely the best Bruce.
Yeah.
All right. So do you remember that card that Greedon that has a bunch of Desire Devils in it? There's another one. Desire Devil Hujo.
Isn't that a Stephen King book? No.
Well, I don't know. When this unit is put from rear guard circle into your soul by the ability of one of your vanguards with Greedon's card name, you can choose one of your opponent's rear guards and retire it. or you may retire it, I suppose. And when your Vanguard with greed on its card name attacks, you can bind this card until end of that battle. When your opponent would call cards from their hand to guard circle, they must call 2 or more. That's boring.
Yeah,
That's boring, but also like relevant for greed on since it's a restander and all.
I guess.
it's
guess
only
we'll
for the
see
battle
what-
mode.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's fine. Like, it's still one of those things where, like, at some point your opponent's gonna have to guard one of the 2 Vanguard attacks, and this can, like, rip more cards out of them.
Yeah. I noticed that they didn't do what they did with, like, Desire Devil's Nido, for example, which didn't care what pulled it in. This has to be by greed on.
Yeah,
So
because screw you. Like,
screw
no
you.
generic cards.
Rip. Cries and Luthier. All right.
All
Got
right,
another
what else we got
Dragon
in there?
Tree support thing.
Dragon Tree Wretch Skull Chemda. When it's placed on rear, you can counter blast 1, soul blast 1, choose one of your rear guard circles with a Dragon Tree marker, and put 1. Search your deck for up to 1 Mask of Hydradium, reveal it, put it in your hand, and shuffle your deck. Necessary card to playing any of the Mask decks.
Yes, absolutely.
100%.
Like, not only does it make you the marker, which gets you a power boost, it also just searches out the mask, which you absolutely need.
Mm-hmm. You all see that the Masks are probably going to be like 5 to 6 per case or some shit?
Yeah. I mean, that's just what triple R or double R ratios have been in Japan for the last few sets. Ours are usually a bit better, but like,
Not much.
yeah.
Oh, no, I think it's 4. It might be. Is there some people were saying that it was like 4 in Japan, so they expected it to be 5 or 6 here?
Oh, maybe.
I think that's just like the double R ratios. Because I was like
it's
looking at the
tragic.
spreadsheet that Crossbones put out, and like apparently like double R's just have the same ratio as triple R's in Japan.
That is absolutely bizarre.
Yeah. Like,
What do
I
I
don't know. Like, apparently it's a more recent thing, and I don't know when exactly it happened. But like looking back to set 9 and 8, it was just like, yeah, like you average around 6 triple R's in the case, and I'm like, that is so bizarre. Or 6 double R's in the case, I'm like, that is so bizarre. Why would you do that?
Yeah, I don't know. The last card is last double R for Dark States is Twin Marble Dragon. So once per turn, when you soul blast 3 or more cards with the same time for the cost of your Vanguard's ability, you can look at the top card of your deck, put it into your top of your deck or into your soul.
And it gets 2k. Wow.
Why is this a double R?
I assume it's supposed to be used with Unica. Is that right?
Yeah,
Or,
but it
or,
also technically works for Jejeweled.
Yeah,
Yep.
that's the first thing that popped into my head.
But it's a little weird for that. But I suppose it does its job
Mhm.
in the most
Yeah.
boring way possible.
Yep.
Yeah.
I feel like if you're playing this card, you're kind of unhappy about it.
Yeah, I feel like you're probably not going to play this card in anything, and if you have to, you are definitely not happy about it.
Yeah. All right. Ready for Bring It?
Yeah,
Yep.
Brandgate, go.
Solide Sturmer. So this is a grade 2 10k. When a set order is played from your hand, it is put into order zone. This unit gets power plus 5,000 until end of turn. You may look at the top 5 cards of your deck. If you do, choose one set order from among them, reveal it, and put it into your hand.
Oh my god.
So when you play a set order, you may be getting a set order. It's just shoving set orders repeatedly.
Yeah.
This card's fine for the ones that play a bunch of set orders.
Mm-hmm.
Probably
But-
not good in the ones that only play like 1 or 2.
Yeah, but like most of them play multiples.
Yeah, most of the
feel like
modern
this-
ones do.
Yeah, like I feel like this is just one of those like cards that's not going to see play simply because of deck space more than anything.
Pretty much.
But yeah,
And also,
I guess
like-
if you're playing a Brantgate version of the tree, this is another generic ass card that can just make your deck function.
It's not bad. Just
Mhm.
kind of, it's pretty funny.
Yeah.
It'd be funny if there was a deck that could play multiple orders per turn, and this card could just kind of chain them together. That could be something that could happen down the line. All right. So next
Now,
card. we got-
if only it let you play 2 set orders in a turn after
Stop.
you got it. Okay.
Stop. All right.
Yeah,
So
but they have to put
Aurora
a cost
Battle
on it.
Princess Grenade Merida is a grade 1 8k
Sweet
part
name.
of the. So when displayed on the rear, you may choose one of your opponent's cards imprisoned in your prison. If you choose a card, your opponent puts that card at the bottom of their deck, chooses a grade 0 card from their drop, and imprisons it in your prison, and then this unit gets power plus 5,000 until the turn.
So basically, you just take a card that would have been useful and replace it with a grade 0, so they can't just call it out of prison later.
This card sucks.
There's like no reason to be playing this compared to like the other grade one that gets plus 5k and just searches out other copies of itself.
Yeah, no, this card's stinky. I don't like it.
Yeah, it's once again doesn't feel like a double. It just feels like a rare. You know?
Like I just said, it sucks, and Rupert's like, yeah.
What do you mean?
All right.
That's the entire show. This sucks. Yeah, it does. I agree.
Hot Melt Monster, Ready Abirio.
Okay,
Nice
so
name.
another monster that we can use.
I do like monsters. So when this unit boosts, Cell Blast 1 until end of that battle. If the sum of grades and set orders in your order zone is 3 or more, this unit gets power plus 5,000. If it's 5 or more, it gets power plus 5,000. If it's 7 or more, it gets power plus 5,000.
Big chunk and beat stick. That's about it.
What decks can get to 7?
Most of them.
Most of them?
Yeah.
Except the ones that only play like 2 of them.
Yeah, like prison. Okay, like prison and avant-garde you can't because you only have like 1 or 2. But like Eva, you can get to 7 pretty easily. Orphis, I think you get to 7 pretty easily.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, Archite, I'm not sure. You can at least get to like 3, but you don't really play. But the only research order you have for Archite is like grade 1, so that's not great.
The thing being like 23 is kind of huge.
Yeah.
As a booster, especially.
Yeah. Let's see what up. Eretogramma, the like big kaiju thing that restands, has to put the orders away, but it can get to the number. So I think this. Oh well, this is an when it boosts, right? So Eretogramma restands something when you use its ability, so you could like boost with it while it's huge, and then like you don't have to worry afterwards.
Yeah, I wonder if there's some shenanigans there with like a restanding Vanguard or something.
Mm-hmm.
Is there a restanding Vanguard that gets like? Oh, I guess
the kaiju, but the kaiju has to put orders away to restand.
Right. Yeah, that's interesting. I will keep my eye out on this.
All right.
All right, what we got next?
Another
Cardinal Principal Lorefield. When this unit is placed on rear from hand, if your world is Abyssal Dark Knight, so lost 1, call a Shadow Army token in the same column as this unit. Grade 1 5k that makes a 13k in front of it.
More than 13k because you will almost always just have the order.
Oh, that's true. And I think this card's pretty neat because it's a Shadow Army from a Soul Blast.
Yeah,
which is quite rare. Its condition means you can't do it very early, which is a good condition, I think. So like you can't just like because you need 2 world orders in order to be Abyssal Dark Knight.
Yeah. So
that you're not going to do it until like
probably turn 3.
Probably turn 3, yeah. But still a nice card.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, these last few are just seeming so innocuous that it doesn't really feel double R worthy. I know this is a weird thing to complain about, but it just gets my goat for whatever reason.
Yeah, so there is another one that makes a Shadow Army for a Soul Blast. Kagula, that was a promo card. That one had to retire. That one? I think we do, but that one has to retire itself to do its thing.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. I vaguely remember that card now, but this one just kind of like populating a thing is quite cool.
Mm-hmm.
So,
all right,
get her.
All right, Dependable Pierce Dragon. It is a grade 3. When it's placed on rearguard circle, if you have a Vanguard with Solarion, fuck it, Solariac. He's a vegetable now. I'm calling him Solariac. Choose up to 1 normal unit from your hand, reveal it. If you reveal the card, draw a card, put the revealed card on top of your deck. And then, rearguard circle once per turn, when you reveal a normal unit by Solariac's ability, it gets, on attack, you may have it gain plus 5k, and if you do, put it in soul until at the end of the battle, so it gets itself out of the way when Solariac calls something else.
You have better shit to do. Why is this even a thing?
I don't know. I'm trying to figure out.
We haven't made a Keter Sanctuary Ride line that isn't like an encounter card in several sets now, so we just had to.
You didn't even make a Keter Ride line with Graham Grace, and then you retconned it with the TD, and now you're like, let's do that shit again. And
yeah, I mean, to be fair, Keter Sanctuary has way too many encounter cards.
Yeah, it does. You're right.
Anyways, next up we have Effulgent Wizard. So on attack, if you have a Vanguard with Sorceress, you can look at the top card of your deck, and then if your Vanguard is standing, you may put that card into Soul.
What?
Yeah.
Why is that a condition?
I guess because Hexa Orb like restands things, so you can't do it the second time.
Sure.
I mean, it kind of makes sense because if you're just like fishing for triggers, if you find something you don't like, and you haven't attacked with your Vanguard yet, you can just get rid of it to dig deeper for your drive checks.
Yeah.
And then when you reveal a trigger unit for your drive check, it gets plus 5k drink.
Yep, and that's not once per turn at least, so
Yeah.
you can play with that, I guess.
This card is fine. It probably just replaces the other one that Soul charges.
Yeah. So, cool. Good job, Effulgent Wizard.
Mm-hmm. Sancrosac Dragon.
This one I love. I remember the reveal for this. I loved this thing.
When it's placed on Rearguard Circle by a card's ability, it gets 5k until end of turn. And then it was placed from the deck, you can Soul Blast one and draw a card and it gets boost.
So you always want to call it from deck and never anywhere else got it.
Mm-hmm.
Which, if you're Altmile, you can do that real easy.
Yeah.
I see what you're saying.
Yeah.
This seems like it'd be good for Thegrea.
Yeah, probably.
I guess Solarion would use this.
I think that's what it's for based on the aesthetic and everything. But
yeah, like I feel like Thegrea, Solariac, maybe Ezel when that comes out.
Oh yeah, I forgot that's coming back too.
Cheater Sanctuary has too many fucking encounter cards.
What are you gonna do? All right, I can't believe we might actually finish a set review in under an hour, but
because this set is just boringly competent.
Yeah, which I'm not faulting it for that, by the way.
Oh, I see. You're
just it just makes for subpar content, but you love us, so it's fine.
Yeah. Replenishment Angel. So it's a grade 1 for Keter. When it boosts a rear guard, if you have a grade 3 or greater Vanguard that's standing, Counterblast 1, look at top 2, choose up to 2 cards, put them on top of your deck in any order, put the rest on the bottom in any order.
Guys, if you're going to counterblast, there should at least be some kind of advantage in there. Some kind of call or a draw or a retire. Nope, just looked at some cards. Cool.
That's right.
Yep. I could have sworn we've already had cards that do this job for... Actually, no. Go 2 cards up. We have a card that does this for free.
Why does she look like she's tripping over something?
I don't know.
All right.
It's okay. Raiko will put it in his deck anyways.
Understandable. It's a new card. Gotta put all the new cards in your deck regardless of
No,
quality.
he just like has this thing where he plays a bunch of angels in his deck, even though that's like not good at all. His Youthberg deck sucks.
Nice. Look, you can't blame someone for sticking to a theme. You can, actually. You should.
All right. Dragon Tree Wretch, Depth Illwith.
All right. What kind of cosmic horror is this?
Grade 2, 10k when placed on rear. Counterblast, Soul Blast, choose one of your rear guards without a Dragon Tree marker, put a marker on it, search your deck for 1 Mask of Hydrangea, or reveal it and put it into your hand, and shuffle.
Guess what? You're playing
Absolutely
this card.
required.
Yep.
Absolutely required. Nothing more to say about it.
Yeah. Love the art on it, though. Looks good.
It looks cool.
Looks really cool. The Dragon Tree Wretches are cool.
Okay. Teal Severing. So this is a grade 2 with 5k. So this better have something good. Drop when Zorda Mask on your Vanguard attacks. If you do not have a Teal Severing, you can counterblast, retire, rear guard. Call this on the rear with a Dragon Tree marker.
All right.
We finally found the 4th attack.
Why is it... Yeah, I guess. Why is it 5k?
Because the marker gives it power.
Okay. So why is it 5k?
You can search it with Skullwitch Nemen. What?
Why is it 5k?
Because we hate Zorga.
Yeah. Understandable. Have a nice day.
That was the case with the Sludge Dragon thing, where he gets either 5k or a crit, but if you auto-magic, it's both.
Yeah, but this one doesn't do that because you have to put it on the Dragon Tree marker. So I guess because the marker gives it power, we have to balance it by going minus 5k so that it's only 10 on the marker.
Why not just... Oh, never mind. I don't care anymore. Knight of Amity Roderick, grade 1. This looks like a Aurora card. Get excited, Root Beer. Auto on rear, once per turn, when your other grade 1 or less rear guard is retired by your card's ability. Soul Blast 2, draw a card, gets power plus 5k, drink.
Sure.
Soul Blast 2 is a lot.
Yeah.
This is one of those
Yeah.
cards where I'm going to buy a playset of it, just in case it becomes useful in the future, either in Aurora or in, what's his face? Grand Fia. How do the token gauges count as far as that go? I would just assume that it doesn't. But like,
I could not tell you.
this is one of those things where it's like, if Aurora didn't have a soul problem, I would auto include this. But like, it does, so I can't.
Hell, if Great Nature didn't have a soul problem, I would auto include this. And yet, here we are. Spouting Intimacy Amila. So, grade 1, Leonorn Sport looks like, 8k during your turn. If your Vanguard is Leonorn Masked, it gets plus 5k. And auto on rear, at the end of the battle that your Vanguard attacks, Soul Blast, and retire this unit and countercharge 1.
We found the countercharge for Leonorn.
Bam.
Finally.
There you go.
Yeah. I mean, it didn't really have a huge counterblast problem before, because you could just sort of find the counterblast, but Mask definitely adds way more counterblasts to the deck, so I'm glad we have this.
I think plus also if you're going to boost with your entire back row and then it's just kind of sitting back there while you stand your front row, this is something you can do with it.
Yeah.
So
this is something you play in the center column and then you get rid of it.
Yep, not bad. All right, so I'll read the mask since I'm already on the roll here. So Mask of Hydrangea, it's in normal order, grade 3. Look at top 5 cards of your deck, choose up to 1 unit card with Dragon Tree or Mask. Reveal it and put it into your hand and shuffle, and then act in drop if you have a grade 3 Vanguard without Mask in its card name. Reveal a grade 3 card with Mask in your hand. Ride the card revealed for this cost as stand. If you rode, put this card into your soul. If your opponent's Vanguard is grade 3 or greater and you did not Persona Ride this turn, you activate Persona Ride.
Yup, this card is
This
very
card is
necessary.
insane.
Yes.
Yeah.
This is what makes the Mass decks powerful, pretty much.
Yeah.
You will be needing 4 of this. Enjoy.
Good luck. This card will start at $20 at least and only ever go up.
I think what bothers me is that, like, in Stoicheia specifically, you might be able to just do the order ride line with this thing. You just cram 4 in there and then, like, a couple, the cup and, like, spiritual body condensation. Yeah. You're done. You're ready to go.
Easy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know that I want to play, like, a full 4 copies of this in, like, Leonorn at least, just because... Actually, even more in like Zorga, because you have to fit like a million other orders for Zorga. Yeah. Like Zorga, I think can get away with only running a couple copies of it.
Because you can dump it off of.
Yeah, because you can dump it and just like get it back. Also, like dumping it is fine because it activates in the drop zone anyways. So yeah, like Zorga can just play like a couple copies of this. I would like to only play a couple copies in Leonorn, but I'm not sure about that because you have to guarantee like activating it so you can get onto your mask.
Right.
Like we have the grade 2s that search out the mask, but like that's probably not enough. So yeah, I'm not sure.
This set is really important. Not just because of the mask thing, but the cycle cards and like a lot of as we've put it, boringly competent cards, which
this set looks like it's primed to shake up the meta. The mask cards being able to like aggro really early, as well as if they go second against any like stride deck specifically, that you could just activate Persona Ride and really just start hammering your opponent right away, is going to be a huge change in tempo. Gandiva, apparently lots of people are high on. It does seem to have a pretty like competent ride line in that like it retires a bunch of your opponent's cards and then like starts binding things. So like, and then because the grade 1 can just bind itself, you can commit a bunch of things early that get rid of themselves, so you don't really get punished for rushing early, and just put a bunch of pressure on early. And then if you can get to the 5 really quickly, Gandiva will just be 23 with a crit.
So, yeah, I think that's a good way to sum this up. Winner, loser?
Stoicheia probably won.
Yeah, like Stoicheia stuff looks really strong.
Brankgate got some good stuff.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Dragon Empire loses.
I mean, if
Darkface got some stuff.
Yeah, if Gandiva is as good as people are expecting it to be, then like I wouldn't say they lost. I'd probably say Brantgate lost.
I'm not quite sold on
Or
the
Keter.
stuff at the moment because I think the mask stuff is just like more overtly strong.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm willing to see where it ends up.
Yeah.
Same.
Like I'm curious about like it's kind of a tie between like Keter and Brantgate because I think none of the Brantgate stuff. The grade 2 cycle card is insane, but nothing else is like super game changing. We haven't gotten any like major new support for Brantgate stuff.
Yeah, no, that's true. But I mean, Ava is still really strong. So,
And yeah, I guess we'll see what happens from there. Let us know in the comments who you think won, lost. What are you excited to play? Either in the comments if you're watching this on YouTube or if you're listening on your Spotify app or whatever app, at Nexus and Night on Twitter or Instagram. If you want to support the show, patreon.com/Nexus and Night. Get a bonus show with us every week. Get episodes a day early. And yeah, so thanks everybody for listening. Where can they find the rest of us?
I'm on Twitter at Wiggums, 2Gs, 2Zs.
You can find me at Plasma Eclipse.
Find me at Atlas Novak, Twitter, Instagram, or TikTok. I hate saying that. Or you can follow my other podcast at Generation Dan on Twitter or Generation_Dan on Instagram. That's a weekly podcast coming out on Thursdays every week. This week we talked about our relationship to work. So get ready for some anti-work tips at the end of that episode. So thanks everybody for listening. And until next time, I was Atlas.
I'm still Matt.
I'm Root Beer.
And have a good night.